Mr. Zucker is a funny guy. He loves to make our learning great. He is one of the funniest guys I actually know. He is determined. Whenever we don't get it, he would always like if we have a question, he always wants us to come up and ask him. Like he loves questions. That is the one thing I know about him. That no matter whatever day it is, he'll love to answer your questions, no matter how much you have. He loves to influence our learning.
Give me something specific that you've discussed in his class that fires your imagination.
We talked about civil rights, World War I, and I think we're about to talk about World War II today.
Now, I know from talking to you the civil rights movement in the 60s you find particularly fascinating. Why?
Because during that time, it was about like working. If when you're like for whites and blacks, it was for the working. Because as Mr. Zucker was saying about, you could been like an how do I say it experienced person who could have been like a black guy, but for a white guy, they just wouldn't be treating you fairly because you were colored, and I found that it wasn't right because everyone should have equal rights in that way in that time, but it wasn't like that. Because for Rosa Parks, in an article we were talking about, Mr. Zucker was reading to us that Rosa Parks was determined because she worked a long day of her job because some white guy told her, the bus driver said she had to get off the bus to give up her seat. She was determined to not give it up because she said, I have a right as everyone else on this bus to sit here. So for a white guy to just tell me to get off the bus, she was telling her that I'm not getting off the bus because of that.
Next year you're going to be a freshman at Romeoville High School. I'm sure you have plans to continue your education after that. I'm going to ask you a big question to finish.
Yes, sir.
How can you make our world and our country better as you become an adult?
Follow the rules of the law and to ensure that just work hard in school.